Today I'm going to be showing you the installation of some BlindsMagic smart blinds in 3 additional rooms of my house. These are a slightly different model than we purchased last time. These are 100% blackout, so I'll show you how that works. I'm going to show you how to measure so you make sure you get the right size blind. I'll show you the install and how they perform, so make sure you stay tuned. Welcome back to Josh's Smart Home. If you're new here, I just want to share with you the information that I've learned over the last 8 years or so that I've been building out my smart home. I do reviews and other helpful videos, some how-tos, and that type of thing. So if you have any additional questions or comments, make sure you leave them in the comments section below. I definitely answer all of those, and I'll get back to you. And if you have any video ideas, leave them there as well. So let's get to it. Full disclosure, BlindsMagic did send a gift card to me to purchase these blinds, but you will get my fair and honest review. And honestly, I was already looking at these blinds to put in additional rooms in my house anyway because we love them so much. First, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the blinds we're replacing and why we're replacing them. Initially, these blinds don't look too bad from far away, but as we get up close, you can see some of it is actually being held together with tape right here. So not the ideal setup, and definitely stick sometimes and have some other issues. So that's what's wrong with the blinds in this room. Let's jump to the next room. You're probably thinking these don't look that bad right away either, but these are the cordless blinds, and I always have a problem getting them up. They're supposed to just go up, but they really don't. These are the blinds from Lowe's. They were not the cheapest, so definitely really disappointed with how these work, because honestly, they don't really work. In addition to that, let me show you this one spot. This is conveniently hidden behind the bed, but you can see that this one's bent and broken, and this one, the end of it's missing, so definitely some issues with these blinds. And finally, we'll be installing them in this room as well, and you can see there's cracked with, it actually has tape. This one also has tape. Definitely lots of issues with the blinds, and the oldest blinds here are about 8 years old, and the blinds you saw in that last room, they're just a couple years old, but they really don't hold up, and really excited to be getting the blinds that nobody will have to touch, and we can have everything automated. Before we can get the blinds, it's really important to measure and order the proper blinds so that you have exactly what you need. So there's a couple different options. One, you can put them inside the frame, or second option is outside. So if you're doing it outside, you'd want to measure so that you're covering the area you'd want to cover. You're not restricted to the width of the window or the height of the window. You go wider and longer, and whatever your coverage that you're desiring is. More importantly, though, is when you're putting them inside, like we like to do. So in this one, you want to make sure you're really accurate with your measurements and have exactly where you're expecting them to go. So I take at least 3 measurements across the windows first. And the first measurement I take is right near the top of the window. And what you want to do is get that measurement, and if anything, you round down just a little bit, because remember, these have to fit inside the window. Next, I go to the center of the window, and I do the same thing. I take the measurement here, and again, if I round down a little bit and write this down, if you have an exact, that's okay, but never round up is the point. And then finally, we go right at the bottom of the windows and we take this measurement, and again we write it down. So what we do is, once we have these 3 horizontal measurements, we take the lowest number. That's important here, because you want to have the smallest width that you have in your window, and use that measurement when ordering the blinds so that you make sure they fit and you don't have any issues with them catching, going up or down, or you can't get the top in, which would be even worse, because then you couldn't even hang it at all. If it catches a little bit, it's probably not the end of the world, but you definitely, you want to err on a little bit smaller, because you usually have a little bit of reveal from the windows over here at the edge, so that if you don't have it where it covers up, all the way out to the frame, you're actually okay, and it won't let a lot of light in or anything. And then we'll do the top to bottom. So for the top to bottom, I start with the tape measure here, and I measure down, and I write that one down. And then I go to the center, put the tape measure here, measure that down, write the center measurement down, and then I go to the right and do the same thing and write that measurement down. And then I look at them and I think about it and compare. And this one I do slightly different. I make a consideration of how different they are. If they're actually all pretty close, I will go with the longest of those measurements. And the reason I do that is I prefer to have the blinds resting on the windowsill rather than hanging in a gap at one of the ends. I'd rather it just be, touching down a little bit more on one side than the other. So that's the method method that I do. If you have a big difference, you might want to consider maybe going the middle measurement, or thinking about what would look best for your blinds. This is one of them though, where it's not a situation where it has to fit within that. It can certainly lay on the windowsill if it needs to, but that's a really your judgment call. The really important one is the horizontal, and also not having too short when you go up and down. Like I said, I like to go with the highest measurement for us. Our windows are relatively consistent, left to right. We did have the Amish framing our house, so they're really close to being perfect. So we always go with the longest so that we make sure it covers all the way down on all of our windows. Now I want to show you what you get in the box. First, you get the blinds, and they have these nice cushioned, plastic bags of air here all around them to try to protect them during the shipping. And let me pull this off and I'll show you what it looks like inside. So once you open it up, you do have the blinds, and this is the unit you actually hang. So that's all it is to it. Just pull that all off and you have your blinds. In the shipment, you also get 2 other boxes, and I'll show you what's in these. So in the first box, you get the remote, and that depends on what you ordered, whether you get the remote or which remote you get. But the remote does come with a wall hanger and the batteries included, so that's a nice touch. And in the other box, you have the brackets you need. They have a charging cable in here, and then there's hardware, the screws and anchors as you need those. So let's get to the install. First, I need to remove the old blinds. And now that we got the old blinds out of the way, it's time to put the new ones up. And you're going to see how super simple this is. Just a couple quick steps and they're installed. All of the windows we're installing for today are double windows. So given the width, they did send 3 of the brackets for each of these. In the other room, we had 3 windows together. And based on that width, they also set 3. And there were 2 separate windows, one individual window. And again, based on those widths, they did send just 2 of the brackets. So depending on the width that you enter, you may get different numbers of brackets. The instructions talk about 2, but with 3, what I do is bump them in 4 inches from each side, like the instructions say, and then put 1 in the center based on this right here, where the center of the windows are, or if there's 3 windows right in the center of the center window. So it's pretty straightforward. And what I like to do is use just this little plastic piece that comes around the larger blinds that we receive as a template to put up, and then we put this here, and then we put the bracket against it and against the wall, against the window, and that's where I install it, so that we don't have any issue about how far in it is or anything. Use the nice quick template, and then I keep it right against the window to make sure that it's nice and straight all the way across. So let me get the 2 end brackets in plus the center bracket. So it's just as easy as screwing these in with 2 screws. So I went ahead and put 2 quick screws into each of the 3 brackets directly into the area above it, and up into the frame of the window. And now it's time to hang them. And this process is really easy thanks to the top and how they have it designed. So basically all you have to do is push it up against in the front, and then swing the back up, and it connects in, and let it go, and it clips in, and that's all it is to it. I have this up here. I'm going to push, swing, and clip, and that ain't going anywhere. So easy as that, and they're in place. I'm not going to go through the full process and show you what it looks like in Home Assistant, or how to use it there, or setting up in Google Home. I do have some of the smart home stuff in my other video. These are Zigbee, but you can choose different protocols as well when you're ordering. I skipped over showing you the whole installation process for the other 2 bedrooms because it's really redundant, but here is what it looks like in the 2nd bedroom, and definitely makes a huge difference using these blackout blinds and blocking that sun out. It'll be good when the sun's up early in the morning or late at night. We're trying to get the kids to bed. And let me show you the 3rd bedroom. And here are the blinds installed in the 3rd bedroom. I think I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick glimpse at what the 80% looks like in comparison to these 100% blackout blinds, because they are in about the same area of the sun right now. So that'll be a good comparison between this and the next shot. And here you can really see the difference with how much light it's letting through, and how that's like slightly translucent here, where you can see through just a little bit in comparison to that 100% blackout blinds. And now it's time for my final thoughts. These are the neatest blinds that I've ever installed. Super simple, so quick and easy to install, and the coolest blinds. So cool that my kids, for the first time ever, were excited for the blinds to be installed. That's saying something, because blinds are not usually an exciting product, but the easy integration and how cool they work with all the voice assistants and that type of thing make them a star with the whole family. Definitely a key to making a good smart home. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this video because I think you're going to love it.